take these, so many different things you can do. And last thing is to basically create a URL. Once I create the URL, bam, within 5 minutes, I was able to create a very simple qualification form. Very easy. I know I have the best chance of getting bookings if I use the best tool that's always optimizing over time. And this, what you're seeing right now, just from the website itself, has been filled out 5,000 times. So it works pretty well.
Welcome to my legal academy, helping lawyers work smart, scale fast, and enjoy life.
Write out your qualification questions, lock it in. It's a big part that nobody talks about too. It's not just by coming up with it, but how are we going to use this? Important note is make sure to ask for contact information at the end of the form. Okay? Why? Because one is they're here for their problems. It's like the easiest way to build momentum. If you start asking them about contact information and things like that, that's like a little bit businessy. Versus it's about you. It's like, again, when you go on a date, you don't all of a sudden start talking about yourself and all these things. You ask, what's going on? Tell me about you, things like that, versus just getting straight into it. So ask those problem questions first, then ask those more private personal information, which is their contact information. You now understand what problem you have. Now I know that you're looking to hire a lawyer for this. Okay, great, I can help you. So how can I contact you? What's your name? What's your email? What's the best mobile phone number to reach you directly? And notice the way that I wrote it. I didn't say name, ideally form of a question. What's your name? Find out, again, through tests, that question does better than just saying name. What's your name? What's your email? And what's the best mobile phone number to reach you directly? Every word is there for a reason. So let's get to the important part, is where to add this. I came up with the most comprehensive list of places for you. So let's get through this and then try putting it in somewhat of an order where it's the most popular and most common for us. The first obvious one is our Calendly questions. And I actually asked you in a poll about what did we use. Let's take a look at these answers now. So the first, second question, number 2, was, do you currently qualify your leads every time you capture your leads? Looks like half of us do, half of us don't. No worries, that's why we're here. So I'm glad to see that. Next question was, which scheduling software do you currently use? I'm super happy to hear and see that 60% of us are in Calendly, and then the rest are on Legal Finance CRM. If you're using Legal Finance CRM, it's totally fine. It's good. And I'm glad to see there aren't that many other ones. There's only 6 other people that are either on Acuity or some other one. If it's already working for you, already getting bookings, fine, it's okay. But just know Calendly is better. So if you don't have too many systems set up already, it's not like fully integrated, you don't have a lot of Zapier integrations and things like that, I would, if it was me, I would switch over to Calendly. Or if you're already on Legal Finance CRM, then use theirs. You might as well take advantage of it. So just have that in mind. These other ones are not as good. And the reason why I share that is Calendly is very good at updating the front end for the client, also on the back end for you. They understand how to optimize things. So they make these forms, they run A/B tests left and right, and they know which form gets the most bookings, and they update the bookings. I've seen Calendly change so much. And for that, I know I have the best chance of getting bookings if I use the best tool that's always optimizing over time. And then this one, which form builder, this will become relevant in about 5 minutes, is which form builder do you currently use? I'm so glad to hear. Jotform is the common one. I think it's the one that I've been sharing the most. It's what I used. I've tested a bunch of these. I've been on Typeform. I've done Google Forms. I've done Wufo. I've done Cognito Forms. I have FormStack. I've done a lot of these, but still at the end of the day, Jotform is the best. It's really good, simple to make, and good for the user as well. So the first one, let's get this out of the way, is Calendly. Okay, obvious one. Okay, whenever you get bookings, ask these pre-qualifying questions. It's very simple. Haven't set this up already, just do this today. This would be something to set up today. When you go to your Calendly, you click on your event. Over here under invitee questions, you will see where you can add these questions. Okay, I created this Calendly about 7 years ago. I didn't know about adding the phone number at the end. I haven't added in the beginning, all good. I don't want to, because I have a lot of Zapier and stuff set up. I don't want to switch it up. And again, a lot of things that I've learned since I've set this up. But this is a very easy way to add those questions. Different types of questions. There's one-line questions, but the ones that we're going to be mostly using is for you, because we have multiple choice, is radio buttons, which is basically multiple choice questions. That's probably the most common one. If you want people to choose multiple answers, then it's a checkbox. I would probably use a checkbox over a dropdown. I think it's easier for the user to just see all the options instead of clicking on the dropdown to be able to see those options. If not, if it's a short open-ended question, it's a one line, or if it's a long answer, it's a multiple line. And if it's a phone number, you're going to use phone number, make it required, and add those in the right order. Pretty easy to set it up. Just add, literally just share with you, add a question just like that. Next is create a Jotform or another form builder, as long as it gets the job done. But the reason why I like Jotform the most is, for many reasons, but one of those reasons is it allows you to create one question at a time forms, which is the ideal way to ask these questions. One question at a time increases your conversion rates, more likely for it to be filled out. It's not as overwhelming. Compare like a long form versus one question, simple question at a time. It does really well. How do you create it? Very simple. Create a form, start from scratch. And I'm just gonna go through this fast. I'm not trying to do a full tutorial right now. I'm just gonna show you how simple it is. And what I want is one question at a time. It's called a card form in Jotform. First thing I'm gonna do is click on the right side I'm gonna just basically use a very simple design. The design, ideally, I want it to be very clean, just a white background essentially with very clear buttons. For example, I just chose this, and I want the button to be red or green. These days I like green the most, because it invokes starting, invokes money, invokes action. So that's that. Not that kind of green, kind of a little bit brighter green. So I first revise that. And then on the left side is when you click on that, then that's where you're able to add the type of form elements. So for us, most of us, just if it's a yes or no questions, I'm gonna say, are you married? Very simple. Once I click on the form, I click on properties, then I'm able to adjust, kind of make adjustments. I want it to be to the left, I want it to be required. That's how I'm able to do that. So that's for yes or no questions. Or if I have multiple choice, what's your problem? Then once I click on like problem 1, problem 2, etc. Very simple to make these forms. And then when I want to create their names, their emails, etc., all I have to do is just again click on it, make it required, require those names, require those fields. That's your email. I'm going to make this required. This one is going to be required. The last one is, it'll just say phone number. What's your direct number to reach you directly? There's also like a welcome page potentially. Sometimes I use this, sometimes I don't. It depends on where the traffic is coming from. If they already have pre-context, then I remove this. I just go straight into the first question. Or if it's somewhere where they don't know too much about me, then potentially I want to say, find out if you qualify for benefit, basically. Or I just say the benefit, get benefit. And then over here, fill out this simple form to find out if you qualify for benefit. And I'll say, are you ready? And I change this button to say yes. Let's get started. And then this button color, I want all the button colors to be one color. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to custom. I'm gonna take this color of this button, also apply it for the welcome page. Very good. And I don't want to go into it. There's settings. You're able to name it, set up notifications, be able to create conditions, you're able to set up integrations to automatically create Google Sheets for you. Take these, so many different things you can do. And last thing is to basically create a URL. Once I create the URL, bam, within 5 minutes, I was able to create a very simple qualification form. Very easy. And where do I use this? Well, number one is our website. Get free case review. So turn your car problem into cash, find out if you qualify for cash or car replacement for your defective car. Are you ready? And it goes in through the questions. And this, what you're seeing right now, just from the website itself, has been filled out 5,000 times. So it works pretty well. It does work. You just have to get traffic to it or have enough visitors that are visiting it. So website is one place. Also different places. It could be the button for your menu. Could go there. It could be button at the end of every blog post. It could be a button in your footer, like a footer section on your website. These are all things that you just say, you tell your developer or whoever thing, hey, I want this call to action button to be on every page on my website, on my blog, on my menu, things like that. You add these everywhere on your website or different places in your marketing, which we'll get to in a second.
Hey, hope you're enjoying the video so far. If you're a lawyer and you're looking to work smart, scale fast, and enjoy life, right below this video, you'll find a link to book a call to speak to my team so we can tell you how we've been able to help over 500 law firm owners scale their law firm. Now back to the video.
So again, let me go through the full picture and you'll see whether you need Jotform or not. Sometimes, you'll be able to fit it in somewhere. So other place, this is my most common one. Ask these questions in your Facebook lead form. Generate leads via Facebook. That's where these questions go. Next, we talked about this, link your website button to the form or Jotform. Everybody on your website will say, give my free case review, request consultation, or do I qualify? One of those, I think they're super optimized. And all that, as I shared with you, just goes directly to the Jotform link. So there's different ways to go about it. If you're trying to get a booking, then I will make these buttons go to a Calendly that has these qualification questions to be able to get them qualified and booked all in one shot. Okay, that's probably the ideal way for most of us. So that's the way to combine your website with Calendly and qualification questions. However, if it's a little bit more complicated or things like that, maybe, I don't know, ideally, I think that would be the ideal way to do it. If not, another way to do it is website button goes to a Jotform. And then once they fill out the Jotform, they're directly sent. There's a way you could say, for example, show you how to change if you go to the building stage and you can say the edit thank you page, instead of saying, hey, instead of showing the thank you, you could redirect them to the Calendly link. It goes to a Calendly link. So you get, all the information and then you send them to go book a call. Ideally, I think I would do it in one shot. Ask your questions in Calendly, qualify them, and get them booked in one shot. So that's what that is. Next is embedded on your landing page. Okay, if you're running Google Ads, this is relevant for you. Yes, you can ask on your landing page for running Google Ads. You can have the typical form that says name, email, phone number, tell me about your case. You can have that, but if you're looking to optimize things, I found that landing pages that qualify and ask very simple questions, one question at a time, are usually more optimized to capture more leads. It's a little bit more complicated, and if need be, I could just show how this is done later. Essentially, you take this form, you get the embed form, you get the embed code, you embed it on your landing page. And for that, I usually don't do one question at a time. I use the typical traditional form and I just create one question at a time. But that will be a more optimized landing page if you're embedding a Jotform on your landing page to first qualify, then you get the contact information on the back end of Jotform. Next is give to your intaker to qualify your leads on the call. So everybody should have an SOP for your intakers to know what questions to ask to qualify the leads. You give them the questions, you give them the multiple choice, and you also give them the different scenarios. If they choose this, ask them these questions. If they choose this, ask them these other questions. If they choose this, they don't qualify. If they choose this, get them signed up. If they choose this, get them booked on a call. Whatever that is, create those scenarios. Next, a lot of people don't realize they could do this, is give your virtual receptionist services like Alexa or Lex Reception or Ruby. You could give them the qualification questions. A lot of people don't do this. They just collect the contact information. No, give them let them qualify. And you can actually give them instructions. You could say, I want these 3 questions. And if they answer like this, then just let the prospect know that we can't help them. But if they do answer like this, then go ahead and book them. Or if they answer like this, to forward them directly to me. Very easy win. Very easy win. I know a lot of people don't have this set up. give your virtual receptionist services your qualification questions and give them those scenarios. Next is add these questions in your email marketing campaigns when someone subscribes to your newsletter or downloads a free resource. This is an easy win, clear win. In one of your second, third, fourth emails, you clarify exactly who qualifies. If you're someone who is married, who has at least one children, and is this, I can help you with this. Okay, when they read something that relates to them and the situation that they're in, they're a lot more likely to have clarity, to have specific clarity about that you can help them. So say that straight up. Easy win. Again, define who that person is who's reading that. If you or someone you know got into a car accident in the last 2 years, then I can help you get paid for your injuries and help you receive a nice cash settlement. Next, not as common, but you can use these social media platforms, have polls, literally post it, especially if you have your own communities. And depending on how they answer, you can reach out to them. A lot of people don't do this. It's like create some kind of interest or get people in the right frame of mindset. Post qualification questions and see who responds back. That's a really good target. Next is potentially something that nobody has, or not that many of us have, is you could feed this to your AI chatbot. Next is if you have webinars or live events, create polls. And what I'm just going through it just for you to check off which is relevant for me, and then you may need to spend some time today or this weekend or sometime this next week, schedule time to be able to go set these up. You can also incorporate these questions into your client onboarding process to collect that data. A lot of times these are not just qualification questions, but they could be just client onboarding questions. Also, you could create a little bit more advanced marketing, but exit intent pop-ups. There's a lot of different tools that allow you to do this. I have a couple that I could pull out from my resources. Not that you'll have this set up, but that one is a really good one, especially if you have a lot of traffic. So exit intent, as soon as somebody wants to leave, they get this pop-up with a very clear button. Hey, before you leave, find out if you qualify for this benefit button. They click on that, they get sent to Jotform to get qualified and signed up, basically. Next is for my YouTubers. If you post videos on YouTube, add your Jotform. This is another place. Again, Jotform or Calendly. I think those should be one of your two options to get people to qualify themselves. And open-ended and anywhere else your leads may be hanging out. Again, think about that. Where are they? Where are they hanging out? On my community? Are they in other people's Facebook groups? Maybe there's Google My Business posting I could do, wherever that makes sense for you. My Instagram profile could be another place, things like that.